me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Great to see you. Welcome back. You've obviously had a great view of this team and where this team belonged competitively last season, now with the landscape of the Western Conference this year. Huge movement a year ago, obviously, maybe perhaps not quite as much this season. How do you feel about the moves the Mavericks made, their potential to be very competitive with the top teams in the West and continue to climb up the standings?
I'm very excited. I think every move is to put us in a position to be successful. I'm very excited with the group of guys that we have. It's going to be very interesting. Obviously, the West is very competitive, like you said. Now we're just going to have to be the better team in the fourth quarter moving forward. We're obviously a great team, but we need definitely need to close out some games this year when it comes to the fourth. And so I think that with our experience now and going through that, what we did last year, it should be a great adjustment for us and should be a fun adjustment.
Okay, Coop.
Hey Jay, number one, how's the shoulder, and just how difficult was it not only to go through the rehab, it's a significant rehab, but just not being able to be with the guys in the bubble, when they were going through what they were going through, and obviously being part of the playoffs.
Shoulders 100%. I'm ready to go. Plain and simple. Watching that in the bubble was fun watching those guys compete and play, but I definitely would not recommend that for anybody. Any player who's a part of a team to be that far away from your team and not be able to contribute, not even from a vocal standpoint. Even if I was there in the bubble, I would have not playing. Definitely would have been fun, and definitely would have been able to enjoy a little bit more, especially my team. But watching those guys, no, it was hard. I wanted to be out there every time, but I think just watching that and going through what I went through is just. I never did before, but now I definitely won't take this game for granted. And something that I've always kept in the back of my mind and something that just will always stick with me. Never take this for granted.
Did you want to go? Did you want to go to the bubble? Couldn't you go to the bubble? What was the reason why you stayed behind?
I could have went to the bubble. I think it was in my best interest long term to get my shoulders fast, done as fast as possible, as quick as possible. We tried to make sure that I was game shape by the time September hit, and I was ready to go as if the season was going to start at its normal time. And I did that, and I felt ready to go then. And then I've kind of just been ready to go since. Just kind of been not overdoing it, but at the same time staying ready. And I've been ready to go for a couple months now.
Okay, Brad.
Yeah, hey Jalen. Following up on that, I wondered, we were peppering Luka with questions yesterday about what he did in the offseason to most improve. I want to ask you that, and then also, because of your injury, do you feel in a sense like you're kind of the forgotten piece of this returning team? And does that, in a sense, sort of fit into the rest of your career, where you maybe surprise some people?
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to your first question. I kind of forgot it, but just.
What were you working on?
Oh yeah. So most importantly, just obviously shooting, getting stronger, getting my shoulder right. I honestly worked on everything. I go into every summer just thinking, what can I do to make myself more consistent and more efficient? I feel like I've always grown in that aspect at every stage of my career. Been able to get more consistent and more efficient, and just working on everything from shooting to my quickness to finishing to my free throws, everything. I'm gonna keep getting better and better every step of the day, every step of the way. And sorry, what was your second one?
Well, just due to your injury, do you feel like, and you weren't in the bubble, do you feel like you're, in a sense, kind of a forgotten piece of this team coming back?
Maybe a little bit. I think within my team, no, which is most important. I think to the outside world probably, but I mean I just don't really focus on that. I focus on what I can control, focus on what I bring to the table, whether I'm forgotten or not. I mean I've been working my ass off for the longest, and so it doesn't really matter what other people think. I know what I can do. I know I can bring to the table.
All right, I appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, Callie.
Hey Jalen, good to talk to you again. You had mentioned a couple of minutes ago that you wanted to, now you would make sure that you're not taking things for granted, being able to play, be around the team. What does that look like for you? What kind of changes in your mindset or the way you approach things?
Honestly, I don't really think a lot has changed. I kind of said it where I never did it before, but like now going through an injury and being away from my team, and obviously going through everything that the world has been through the past couple, almost a year now, it just kind of helped me think that, I mean, nothing's set in stone. So being able to just work as hard as you can, like it's your last game, like it's your last practice, like it's your last to do anything. That's kind of always been my mindset, but I think the bubble, the pandemic and everything, the injury kind of reassured that.
Awesome.
Okay, Eddie, I know you have to speak, so I'll leave you unmuted long enough to ask those.
Yeah, Jalen, first, you mentioned the fourth quarter, and I'm wondering how much that inability to close out games at times nagged at you and your teammates. I mean, nobody wants to be known as a team that has trouble closing out games.
I mean, it definitely is not a great feeling. It's not just with me. I think it's with everybody. I think everyone knows what we're capable of. We have the talent to be one of the best teams in the league. We have a group of guys who've been in situations over the career where they've had to close out games. And so we have guys who are able to do it. And I just think it just comes from a point where we got to come together and know what we've been through last year. It can't happen this year. Or it can't happen as often as it did. And it's going to happen here and then, but I mean, we got the team to limit our mistakes and limit the things that we can control. And we can control our fourth quarter leads. We can control everything like that. So we gotta be a team that holds each other accountable.
Also, the injury being to your non-shooting shoulder, I guess, how does that impact it, if at all? I mean, does it make it a little easier to come back? And also, I'm sure you were able to do conditioning since it was a shoulder and not a leg thing. Just kind of what that was like during your downtime.
It was pretty interesting. I couldn't sleep laying down. I had to sleep in like a reclining chair. I felt like Dirk. I felt like an old man. I couldn't really do a lot. But once I got cleared to be able to do some conditioning and some running and things like that, it gave me more confidence in myself. Because obviously once you go through an injury, especially your first, you don't really know what to expect going forward. And so being able to go through all of that and the running and conditioning, once I was able to do that, it was easy. So it was a long process. It was very drawn out, but every step of the way, it kept getting better and better mentally and physically.
Okay, Tim Cato.
They were watching the team in the bubble. What did you make of Trey Burke's performance, and now that he's back, it's obviously the two-guard system, the Carlisle system, and he wants two players and makers on the floor. How do you think you guys can complement each other?
I think we do complement each other pretty well. Watching what Trey did was pretty inspiring. It was, he balled out, especially that first game. That was pretty amazing to watch. I just think we can definitely complement each other pretty well. We're playmakers. At the same time, we can score. We can lead. We can run the team. I just don't think there's going to be a problem with us playing on the floor together. I think it's going to be very fun. And I think it's going to be interesting the way Coach puts us in the position to be successful.
Okay, two more. Nick.
Hey Jalen, so along that lines of that question, Mavs have a bunch of guards. They re-signed Trey Burke and kind of filled your spot while you were hurt. What's it like, and how do you approach competition in training camp and on the team when it's somebody you work with, who you're teammates with, but you're also competing with for minutes?
It's competition. It's the whole NBA. I mean, if you think about it, you're always competing against something. You're always competing against yourself. Every year, there's 60 guys that get drafted. So there's 60 guys that are coming in for your spot. And so no matter what the situation is, no matter what, you got to be competing against yourself. And obviously, you compete against others, but most importantly, you got to keep your mindset. For me, I got to keep my mindset the same. Compete, and be the best person I can be the best teammate I can be. Whether it's playing or not, I'm going to be the best teammate I can be possible. But I'm going to make sure that there's no confusion. I'm working my butt off every time I'm on the court. I'm working my butt off anytime I'm in practice. Like, I'm doing whatever I can to make this team successful.
Okay, and our last one, we'll circle back to Coop and then have you on your way, Jalen. Thank you.
What do you make of the mindset change, the guy in, and just what Rick has seemed to put out there is the main focus for this team this year, getting better defensively, being more physical, playing with an edge. How do you take all that? And is that something that you feel is in you, or is that something that you need to even improve more on?
Both. I think I have that instilled in me, and I think there's always room for improvement. It's something I've always been around. I've been around a bunch of tough-minded people who are willing to work hard, willing to sacrifice, and willing to be the best they can be. For some reason, I've always been surrounded by people like that, and this team is no different. I'm just really excited to make sure to be part of that, and to make sure that we all hold each other accountable and do it for these 72 games and more.